undaunted by this, steps up to the plate and makes this argument that Bucky adheres to and agrees with, and Joe's client is now not guilty, and my client is now guilty. So, a motion for new trial is filed, and the date I'm corrected is 1983. That motion for new trial is still pending. Honest to God. Now, Joe is retiring, so Buck, I'm going to ask you, could you sign that order and bring this case back to trial so we can now have this trial, or this retrial in the Circuit Court of Baltimore County? That's a true story. Are we ready to go, Erin? Okay. Now, I looked and searched for the best likeness of Joe Murphy I could find. This is it. Now, we all know, those of us in the house, we see him every day walking the streets. He is a walker. He walks every day. This is a pre-coronary bypass photo. And I think it's pre-capsule bypass. It's a very becoming photo of Joe. So what will happen upon his retirement? Well, first of all, I'm going to send an email and a flyer and a text message to Troyers, because with his move to Baltimore City, their business is going to be drastically diminished. How did that get here? It will be diminished. I can also tell you that the governor of the state will receive fewer recommendations from Judge Murphy. Now, you know, whenever there's a judicial slide, there's a line that forms on the 5th floor of the courthouse, queued up to get Judge Murphy to send a letter. And somehow he's able to send a letter for more than one person and tactfully say, these people are worthy of the position. Well, maybe now there will be fewer of those recommendations. The next thing is one that I really enjoy, and that is that damn book. We won't have to buy it again. The Maryland Evidence Handbook. We can shred it and we can forget about it. It's done. Another issue is that I have been in trials throughout the state, and I have come upon many instances where courts will take a recess, and I have kind of overheard some of the conversations. And I know a lot of the calls are made to Judge Murphy because he is and was and will always be the man of what is evidence being received in the state. Maybe there will be fewer of those calls made, and we will have some other photos. So there will be fewer trial interruptions, and certainly with his departure in September, there will be fewer. Barbara and Joe, there are going to be no traffic jams any longer on the 5th floor. I think there was a sign there that said, welcome, no appointment necessary, because every lawyer in town is welcome, and this guy was there all hours of the day. I want to say this too, that this is an actual photograph of Judge Murphy's computer in his office, and the judges throughout the state were each given a computer. And Barbara tells me, okay, I say, this has never been turned over. And so we're going to have a drastically effective budget here because, you know, Judge Murphy knows the law. We all know that he can cite the volume that the case is in, not the page, but the volume. And he would tell us all first that they wouldn't need computers either. So now the office is now going to have to be set up with an internet service that he never had. The computers are going to have the operation. It's going to cost the state a few dollars to get that done. Now, this is an actual present tense photograph of Judge Murphy's chamber. I hope you can all see this because that is, we didn't do anything. I mean, that is it. This is a photo of the chamber. This happens to be a drawer of his desk that fell out several years ago, and it's still on the floor. This is his recycle bin. had to take this because this is the eighth wonder of the world. And many of you over the last year, when you saw all that construction at the courthouse for the fourth floor, and you thought that they were building new courtrooms, well, they were, but that was really an adjunct of what was happening. The word got out that Judge Murphy was going to retire, and they were cleaning his office, and everything was going down the chute. And that is why all of that construction material was there. Joe, we know that you are retiring from the bench, but we know you're not retiring. You're going to new life, and you're going to enjoy it. We wish you well. That is the biggest bottle of wine I could find. And we wish you well. Everyone in this room wishes you well. Everyone is certainly us. And we're going to have a few words from a very special
but unlike most times in his life, it was because he was actually number 2 at something. After graduating from BC, he got a job as an insurance adjuster at a company called Crawford & Company. He was asked to pick which city he wanted to work in, and he listed Boston as number 1, hence the accent that he never lost, and Baltimore as number 2. He had never been here before, but he knew it had a law school. And someone else got the number 1 choice, and he came here, not knowing a soul. And I've often heard this said about Baltimore. They say you can't get anywhere in this town unless you actually know someone. Well, Dad, you certainly proved that to me. I could stand up here and tell you how brilliant he is, but you all know that. And I could list all his professional accomplishments, but you know this too. But that isn't why my father's one of a kind. He never cared how any position he took would be viewed politically. Loyalty was way more important. He's fiercely loyal, whether it be to a judge who might have made a misstep and received unwanted media attention, or a lawyer who was in trouble. He was always there, and he truly sees the good in everyone. I remember making a list for my parents' 25th wedding anniversary. And my boss at the time looked at it and he said, "Erin, you can't seat a judge next to a rumored bookie. It's inappropriate." But both of those people were my dad's best friends, and my father would never want it any other way. So Dad, as proud as I am of your professional accomplishments, and I truly am, I am so much prouder of how you got here, with more integrity than anyone I've ever known. Crime in baseball, and I know this. And I heard about my mom when I was in law school. People would say to me, "If you're half as good as he is, you'll be the best they ever were, or there ever was." My mom would say, "Tell those people, aka jerks, you are half me and you're going to be way better." I'm not, Mom, but certainly you would not be here without the sacrifices you made. Because you sacrificed time with him so he could be available to all of these people. So you and Barb, who my dad will definitely mention, deserve so much credit. Finally, a word about my dad's post-retirement life. As many of you know, he's coming to work for, with me, at Silverman Thompson Black and White. And I know that you had a lot of amazing opportunities, but I'm personally so thrilled that you chose us. And I'd like to thank Fern, who is standing over there, for not only being brilliant legal minds, but amazing people. And thank you, Steve and Brian and Andy for making my dream of working And Dad, it really always has been my dream. Richard got the best gift for you. There's a table you like to sit at. You have a house account there. You might remember all those late night charges from me when I was in law school, and maybe yesterday. Yes, Sabatinos. Open it. That table you like to sit at, Dad, is now officially yours. This plaque will sit above your table forever. It reads the Judge Joseph Murphy Jr. Table. Congratulations, Dad. I love you more than words can ever explain. Now, I have one more word for you. Now you gotta get used to being called just Joe.